What's going on, guys, and thank you for clicking on this video again. Here to recap UFC 303, Alex Pereira versus Yuri Prochazka. And I'm going to go over my entry on FanDuel that got cooked. And I'm going to break down all the fights on the entry as well. All right, and here's the entry that I put on FanDuel. As you can see, was off to a good start. 4 for 4. Night was looking good. And then, yeah, the fight that I thought could go either way. Even though I think in the previous video, I think I heavily favored Michael Venom Page. But, you know, we'll get into it. All right, so the first fight on my FanDuel entry, I had Martin Buday versus Andre Arlovski. Now, Buday won this one. You know, he did real good in the clinch in round 1. But I feel like he allowed Andre to clinch way too much in the second round, and also accepted the clinch way too much in the third round. He had good moments in the striking on the feet, but then it just got halted, you know, by him accepting the clinch. He kept the pressure on in the second round, second round, but going into just by watching the fight, I thought maybe he lost the second round. He could have lost the second round. I think overall, if you see looking at these stats right now, he outstruck him total strikes, but not in significant strikes, just barely. And yeah, once they went to decision, I thought it could have been anybody's fight. And goddamn it, look, it was a fucking split decision. Like, yeah, Martin Buday, or Buday, I think they pronounce it Buday. I've been saying Buday. But man, he gotta get it together, man. But what you can't expect much. These are two low level heavyweight fighters, but yeah, but went 1 for 1. All right, and moving on to the second fight, Gillian Robertson versus Michelle Waterson. Yeah, I mean, this is a domination, a three round domination. Like I said in the previous video, you know, Gillian Robertson's striking hasn't been improving, and it showed in this fight. I mean, she was really good in the stand-up, but I feel like she decided that, you know what, she just wants to end it on the ground. And her ground and pound in the first round was crazy. Dominated all the grappling exchanges with Michelle Waterson, who I guess I gave maybe too much credit on the ground because she's only a brown belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. But either way, you know, she held her own too on the ground. But yeah, she got completely dominated. And as I said in the previous video, the UFC and especially Dana White, they love their Ultimate Fighter contestants. And you know, Michelle Waterson, I think she was the winner of the Ultimate Fighter season 21. But this fight just showed that she didn't belong in the top 15. Now, I didn't think she was going to retire. You know, I think it was great that she retired, and you know, she obviously had a good career. But you know, so I'm not going to kick her while she's down. But yeah, good fucking win by Gillian Robertson. All right, moving on to the next fight, we had Peyton Talbot versus the Gamori guy. Yeah, I stand corrected. That last video I made, I thought the odds should have been way closer. God damn, I was wrong. I was wrong as shit. So there's really no need to make this one a long commentary. But he KO'd dude in 20 seconds. He's going to be a fucking problem in the bantamweight division. In the previous video, I said I think this would be fight of the night or performance of the night would come. I think I'm making this video right now live, so I can't post the results of if he got performance of the night. But I'm going to bet that he probably is going to get performance of the night. He called out Adrian Yanez. I think that's going to be a solid fight. But yeah, this dude's the future of the bantamweight division. All right, and moving on to the next fight, we had Joe Pyfer versus Mark Andre or whatever. Yeah, man. Good performance by Joe. Ended up with the knockout. He kept the pressure on. And then you could tell from the jump, Mark Andre, he did not want anything to do with that power. Vicious KO. Deadly KO. He definitely learned a lot from that Jack Hermansson fight. Like I mentioned in the previous video, he got outsmarted. he just got outpaced by Jack Hermanson. This fight, you can tell game plan was to just pick your shots and be smart about it. And yeah, got the knockout KO in under 2 minutes. So yeah, started the night off good. All right, and this was the last fight on the card because the co-main event between Lopez and Ortega got voided because Brian bitch ass didn't make weight, and then caught a fever. So anyway, so this Michael Page fight versus Ian Gary. Yeah, looks Michael Page ended up losing the decision. He kept the pressure off pretty early in the first. I feel like Michael Page didn't really press the issue as much in the first. And then Ian Gary got it to the ground and showed, I'm not going to say a flaw in Michael Page's game, because I think Michael Page is a black belt in jiu-jitsu. But Gary showed that he had the advantage on the ground in the first. And Gary also controlled the clinch in the second. And as I said in the previous video, I thought this fight would be pretty boring, and I thought it was pretty boring, personally. So, but Michael Page did show his speed advantage. I think I said that Ian Gary would have the speed advantage in the previous video, but Michael Page showed that he is fast. Yeah, so I had it 1-1 going into the third. Michael Page continued to show his advantage on the feet in the third. He had a brief moment where he was on top, but Michael Page ended up giving up his back to end the round. And the third round was a pretty hard round to score, in my opinion. But I thought Michael Page won just due to damage. How do you weigh damage versus the control that Ian Gary had? So it could have went either way. But yeah, lost the bet on that particular fight. But hey, maybe next week. I'm gonna make another video though. I still got some prize picks and better picks to post, so I'll make a separate video about that. But yeah, went 4 for 5. Better than last week. But it is what it is. On to the next one. I think the next fight is July 13th, so I'll be making a couple videos up until then. I know previously I said I'd make some videos about like certain divisions in the UFC, how I see the outlook of those certain divisions. So I'll probably make a video about those leading up to July 13th, which I think is Rose Namajunas versus Tracy Cortez. So yeah. So anyway, yeah. Thanks for watching the video. Sorry if I lost y'all some money, but the sun will rise again. Appreciate it.